This may sound strange, but I've never been more torn about a game than Infinite Guitars. On one hand, you have a stylistic and cool adventure within a rhythm RPG genre. On the other, nothing really works, and all the various systems makes the experience as repetitive as hearing someone sing Hotel California at a karaoke bar. Before we get into the review, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters for making this possible. Please take a second to check out patreon.com/noisypixel to support independent game journalism. Infinite Guitar is set in a world destroyed by a mech war that has come and gone. Now, humans survive as scavengers across several floating landmasses. Here, we meet a very bored and lethargic JJ, who can't be bothered to leave her airship because she wants to play guitar. However, as fate would have it, it seems there's more to her uncle and her than she initially thought. These early narrative moments are pretty engaging, but I never felt connected to JJ. As cool as she looks, she doesn't seem to carry the plot the way a band leader should. After an encounter with some people from her uncle's past, she must drop the lazy attitude to save her uncle and stop whatever these mech-wielding weirdos have in store for her. Luckily, she has a few mech-enabled abilities herself, and some others who rally alongside her to help complete her quest. The plot ends up having a few late-game twists that stem from whether or not JJ is on the right side of all this, but the game is about her finding a place in this world. She essentially learns how to exist through tragic moments and never give up. Her bandmates, Kaylee, Sam, and Rue, add to a few realizations and expand the worldview a bit, but their overall inclusion in the group came with very little fanfare, which could stem from how they struggle to find an identity within the plot. The narrative mainly revolves around JJ, which is made evident because she's the only character that gets to roam around the overworld. I think this limits any attachment to the other characters that you can get, who will just randomly speak up to add quips to conversations. Further, there isn't personalized equipment for the characters, making their additions seem more like additional HP for battles, which is caused by how the battles are set up. During a fight, players encounter an enemy on a map, and one of the characters will be randomly chosen to receive damage. The screen then transitions to a battle phase, allowing players the chance to dodge attacks. However, this scene is the same for each character, with the same run and dodge animation. I would have enjoyed it if they had a unique skill to bring to this section because they just feel like JJ palette swaps. The next phase is the player's turn, where you can choose a character and an ability. Damage output can be improved by charging the ability up to 3 times, where charges are collected during actions, perfect dodges, or on the fields. After selecting a skill, a rhythm minigame takes place, which can limit the damage output if you get something wrong. This causes battles to overstay their welcome very quickly. Completing each phase takes way too long, and encounters happen way too often, causing the cool animations and rhythm portions to weigh on the enjoyment. In addition, you'll have to play these sections of these songs for each attack, so you're forced to stay engaged in these long-winded fights to increase the damage of attacks and get them over with. This also limited my willingness to level grind and instead just pass up all the enemies I could. It's actually possible to do this because you can dodge all damage in a fight if you time it perfectly, so your level doesn't really matter. Further, duets add to the damage output of attacking, allowing other characters to play a riff, but this also extends the rhythm portions of the battles, so it's a double-edged sword. Outside of that, the battle animations are incredibly cool. Abilities have optional effects like debuffs and buffs, but they typically consume HP or scrap to utilize. The game explains how these mech abilities drain the life away from the users, but it's possible to be stuck in a battle for quite some time if JJ is the only usable character, but she only has access to her least powerful attack due to not having enough HP. On the field, you'll have to endure more rhythm sections to open doors, but the maze-like structure of the map is hard to navigate because it doesn't show obstacles. These rhythm sections are the same as the battle riffs, so be prepared to go through them a lot. Further, damage can be received while navigating, while missiles and pulse areas of effect will knock you down unless you dodge. These moments are incredibly hectic, and I could never really get the timing right, so I died more to these hazards than in the battles. It adds flair to the exploration part, so you aren't just solving light puzzles to progress, but I honestly don't think the game needed these gimmick areas. It caused more play fatigue than enjoyment when I just wanted to progress through the narrative to see what JJ and her crew would do next. There are several difficulty options that allow players to customize their experience, so you can make the rhythm portions and battles easier. Other aspects of gameplay have players interacting with other characters. For example, responses will add and subtract attack and defense stats for some reason, but the choices don't show what stats will change. I honestly didn't pay much attention to this because it doesn't make that much of a difference in a fight. Character animations and design are at an all-time high in Infinite Guitars. The pure enjoyment from watching the ability transformations and various cutscenes made me want to push through all the monotony in order to experience everything this game has to offer. It's pure style from beginning to end, which includes its catchy soundtrack and overall design. Infinite Guitar fails to establish a cast of characters that you can care about, which is only enhanced by the gameplay that puts the spotlight on JJ, leaving the supporting members to be the backup dancers. There's little staying power for the cast, and the respective nature of various systems cause tour fatigue way too early. You'll stay for the punk rock presentation, but you won't be requesting an encore. Noisy Pixel is giving Infinite Guitars a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.